Hey, what's going on everybody? Gleez here, and in this video we're going to go over some of the basics to learn with DARKSEID, and we're going to break down the character. I know that I did a combo video, and I had a few people send me a message to kind of go over, the basic game plan with DARKSEID. Now, whenever you go in practice mode, you always want to hit the matchup options and turn competitive mode on, so you know exactly how much damage you're actually doing here, especially if you're going to play in tournaments and the like, because everything's on competitive mode. So we're going to get into how to use DARKSEID and some of the things that you want to keep in mind. And as you use the character, typically you're going to want to be full screen and you're going to want to use lasers most of the match. And you're going to zone and try to get him to come in. The laser that I like in particular is the up laser. Alright, and you meter burn it. It covers like the whole screen. It can't really jump in, anti-airs. One of the other lasers that I like is to meter burn and go low with the regular laser. Alright, you just meter burn and then hold down after you shoot it. And there's also this one, which is pretty good, but someone can react to that if you're playing like a Supergirl. Alright, and you do that. If someone sees you jump in the air and activate your laser, they can just teleport and they can punish you. So keep that in mind. Know the character that you're playing against. So as far as the normals go, you're going to be full screen in most cases, and as they come in, the combo starter that I usually check them with is the forward 2-3, and it launches. And if you've seen the combo video, most of the combos start that way. So typically, you're going to be full screen, shooting your lasers. The other character that you're facing is going to try to get in. Most times they'll try to like dash in or something between lasers. You can always catch them on a dash in. So as they dash just like that, you just catch them with the forward 2-3. And that links in the combo. The combo that I use for that looks like this. And notice that the jump kick I land late. Alright, so when you land the jump kick, it has to be late. If you do it too early, the stomp misses. So I'll show you what it looks like if you're missing it. You're landing the jump kick probably too early. See how it misses? Alright, you gotta wait on the jump kick. And that's with any time you finish with jump kick and the stomp. It's gotta be a late jump kick. So checking your opponent also, the down 3 is very good. It's low. Hits low. It's good stuff. The recovery is faster than this. This is like 18 and this is 10 on recovery on block. So this is going to be your best bet. The plus strings, the overhead back 1-2, that's a plus string. Alright, it does have pushback on it. We'll put him to block. Alright, so it does have pushback on it, but it is plus. It's like +2. Also the 1-1-2, but it's a high, just so you know, so someone can crouch the first hit and hit you. That's also plus. Alright, so those two strings are plus, and they work really well in the corner. Alright, so now I'm plus in the corner, and I can, do what I want to do. Alright, this as well. This is also a good meaty. I usually will meaty with this, meaning that when the character's on the ground, I'll go in with this, because I know that I'm plus at the end of that. And then I can poke, and if he tries to poke when I poke, I'm going to come out first. So boom, I would hit him, and then I would have advantage. So let's talk about the string that you use when you do have advantage here. We'll put them on auto. So when you do land a poke, alright, you are at advantage. Now there's really only one starter that he can use after this, because if we look at the move list, down 1 on hit is... it's +10, alright, so you can see hit advantage, ADV, hit advantage is +10. The only move that we have that has a startup that is less than 10 is the brutal kick, which is triangle. If you look at all these other ones, they're too long. You can do down 2, but that's not really what you want to do. Alright, so all the other ones are too long. This one's a high, so someone can crouch it, alright, after you're down 1, so that kind of sucks, alright. They can crouch it, they can punish you for it. So I typically go in with the 2, and there's 2 strings that you can use off of it. You can use that one, which is a low, so that's boom, and then 2-1. Alright, or you can go 2-2-3. Alright, so boom. Alright, now there are gaps in both of those, which does suck. So we'll set the opponent to backdash. Now, if you ever want to find out if your strings have gaps, you know, you can just set this to this. So you're going to go reversal mode on. We're going to go to backdash. All right, so if I use this string, there's a gap. All right, if I use this string, there's a gap. All right, so he has gaps off of all of his strings that, you know, you can actually link after the down one, which does suck. It's not a good thing. He's not meant to be played inside. He's not strong. He's not a strong character inside at all. All right, so you want to make sure that you push your opponent full screen and get away, and your job is to zone with DARKSEID. That's how he's meant to play. You know, if someone has something to say to you because you're using lasers, you know, his game is not inside. If you play him inside and you're trying to win the inside battle, you're probably going to lose it. All right, one of the things that I also like to do, especially when someone is respecting, so eventually when you start hitting this down one into the two, they'll start respecting the next hit. So you'll land that and they'll block. All right, so if they are blocking, sometimes what I like to do is that and then into throw. And the other thing I like to do after the down one and they respect the next hit is to go into this. And you can end it like that and get your trade out, which is kind of cool. Or you can end with damage with the jump 3 into the stomp. So again, that's once the down one hits, again, if they're respecting the standing 2 combo after. All right, so you can jump into the stomp. Now, it is unsafe. All right, it's not a safe mix-up. All right, so be aware of that. You also, if they are respecting the poke, then after the hit, so the standing 2, they start respecting it. You can do this too, which is safe. The back 1-2. All right, you can do that. You can go into the launcher if you want, but that is unsafe. So just know, you know, what you're doing. Know your risk going into certain strings after your poke. So another great move with DARKSEID is his knee, which is back forward 3. Now, using it alone, it's unsafe, but if you were to meter burn it, it sends them full screen, which is exactly where you want your opponent. It's also plus on block, so if we go into the move list and we look at the flying knee, all right, so you see it's -10. When you meter burn it, it's +2. All right, so this can also be used as a wake up. So it has invincibility frames on the startup when you're on the ground and waking up with the move. Now, one of the cool things about this is that when someone tries to counter poke, so let's say you poke and it's blocked. So we'll put him to block. So I can go into the knee, all right, and I'm plus. And look where I start at. So I'm +2. I can hit him with another down 1, which is guaranteed. All right, most characters too, if they try to meter burn back 3 or meter burn forward 3 off of the enhanced knee, you'll be able to poke and block before that comes out. So you won't be punished for that, at least as far as I have seen. Now, if someone is respecting the knees, all right, so then we can go into something else. All right, so we can go overhead. We can go knees into that. All right, just like we did off the regular poke. We can go knees into throw. All right, so there's a lot of things you can do with the meter burn knee. It's a great tool. It's a great way to get your opponent off of you and also to stop counter poking. You can use this into it as well to stop counter poking if you know somebody's going to counter poke if they're doing it a lot, but it is unsafe as hell. So just know that going in. Like, if you don't want to spend the bar, you can do that. You know, it's a very risky maneuver. Just know your opponent before you decide to do that. So next we're going to talk about his teleport, and you can do it in the air. And if you notice, even if you instant air it, it doesn't change the trajectory of where he winds up on the other side. So I can do it as low to the ground as I want, and it doesn't matter. He's still going to come in at the same height on the other side. So this move is punishable. Someone can down to you. They can jump in on you if they jump that way. As you teleport, and it is reactable. People can react to it. Typically, what I like to do with the teleport is to punish people that like to shoot projectiles from full screen. So I think that DARKSEID is a really good character for, say, Deadshot and other zoners. His projectile causes knockdown, so every time you trade, you're at advantage to get another projectile. So, you know, we're getting off on a tangent here, but that's typically what I like to use the teleport for. You can do it to create some tricky cross-up situations, which we'll get into as well here. And we're going to talk about the jump kick into the Stomp. So the jump kick into the Stomp is pretty hard to block. It's an overhead into the low. You can also just go in and go right in for the low, right, into combo, and you can meter burn it and launch. And again, if you want to see the combos, I'll put a link down in the description to the combo video. But that's basically the mix-up. So you can go in and then, you know, go low. You can jump kick, so it's overhead. So it's basically a 50-50 in the air. And you can do it off the teleport as well, and you can do it with jump 2, or you can do it with jump 3. The jump 3, to me, is a little bit harder to land sometimes. As you see, I'm messing it up. The recovery is a little bit different. You have to hit the 3 a little bit earlier, all right, as you see there. All right, so the 3 has to come out early off the teleport. The 2 can come out a little bit later. It's a little faster startup. But that's basically that. All right, so let's talk about his trait. And there's a couple options that you have here. You can just use the trait normal and you get this projectile. All right, you can call him out, and then, you know, if you just hit the button, it's a projectile, and if you hold forward, he flies at the guy. If you hold back in trait, you get this little minion-looking dude on the ground, and he goes overhead if you just hit the button. Or he actually will run in if you hit forward, so he'll run in just like that. Pretty cool, pretty interesting. You also have forward in trait, and then that puts a like minion dude right near your opponent, and then that launches. Works really good in the corner. So for like corner setups, let's say you end, you know, something like that, and now you have this guy there, and then that will pop up. I'll show you what it looks like in the corner. It pops the opponent up. It's basically, oh my god, it's a it's a launcher. So if you have that there, it is a launcher. All right, you can also, with all of these different types of traits and minions, or whatever you want to call them, you can also do things that are, you know, unsafe, and you can make them safe. All right, so for instance, if I have this guy out, right, now you can't punish that. This is typically unsafe. All right, if I do, let's say this one, right? All right, you can't punish me because he's got that bad boy humming down his neck at the same time. There's no way his active frames would be able to hit me, even though this is unsafe. So it can allow you to mix up safely. It also will give you different options as far as hitting your opponent low and overhead relatively at the same time. So you can have him out, right? And see how that goes overhead. And you also have this, which is a low. All right, so you can set both of those up at the same time, and it looks like this. All right, see how that hits basically at the same time? So you can also do other mix-ups with it, like with the teleport. All right, so it hits both at the same time. You basically can't block it. It's a low and an overhead all at once. And I encourage you to try these things out and come up with some things on your own. Those are two setups that I use, the corner one, as well as having the character out, the regular one, this guy, to allow me to stay safe on strings that aren't typically safe. Another way that I use this as well is to stop people from anti-airing me. Alright, so notice that he can't anti-air me. If I have this out and I teleport, shoot it, boom, he can't anti-air me. If he does, he can't combo off of it. So, you know, that's basically what you use this for. This is basically in order to stay safe. That's how I typically use it. I use it to stay safe and launch in the corner. But I encourage you to look at many other ways. I'm sure, you know, the game's only been out a few days. I'm sure we'll come up with a lot more extensive stuff using the trait. But that's basically how the trait works as of now. Alright, so that's basically how he works. If you have any questions about DARKSEID, leave it down in the comment section. If you have a question about another character, and I know a thing or two about that character, I'll be happy to help. Maybe I'll make a video. You know, just hit me up. I'm always open to suggestions. So that's it. It's Jay Gleez signing out. Thanks for checking in, and continue to game strong.